I understand that in the long run it's going to be nice, but currently it's definitely having an impact.
The construction on I-70 is supposed to eventually make things easier for drivers, but right now it's making things harder for those nearby businesses.
The white rock is usually underwater, so we'd expect it to be somewhere in that band of gray rock behind us in a normal year.
Problem is, it's not a normal year. Colorado is in a drought, and Centennial Water is putting in some restrictions to try to conserve water.
And after a 2-year break, the Dragon Boat Festival is back. We look into the cultural importance behind all that fun. Police are still looking for the driver who hit and killed a woman in Lakewood last night and then took off.
Police say that woman is 53 years old. Happened near First Avenue and Sheridan. Police say that area isn't lit very well. Sheridan is also part of the high injury network, the 5% of roadways in the metro area where more than half of reported serious injuries or death happen. If you know anything about that crash last night, call Lakewood Police.
Denver police say an overnight crash killed 2 people. They do have a suspect in custody for vehicular homicide and assault. Police say this happened in the area of Santa Fe in Mississippi. Officers say the driver of a truck was driving in the wrong direction on Santa Fe and then crashed head-on into an SUV. 2 people in that SUV died, and 3 people in the truck survived. The truck driver is facing charges.
Highway 125 is still closed tonight between Trail Creek and Road 112 in Grand County because of a mudslide there. This is 4 miles south of Willow Creek Pass in northwest of Granby. It was completely washed out the roadway there. We've learned that an abandoned storm sewer manhole caused that sinkhole in Sheridan last night. It closed part of Oxford between River Point Parkway and Santa Fe. The city told us that it was 2 feet wide by 20 feet deep, but they did some emergency repairs. It didn't grow anymore overnight. They say it's now safe to drive on.
Take a live look outside on this cloudy and rainy afternoon. If you happen to be flying out of town tonight, DIA says, yes, expect some delays.
Right now, there are 584 flights delayed coming to and from DIA. 119 flights are canceled. It's been raining for the better part of the afternoon here, Lauren.
That's right, and that's exactly what we expected was going to be those scattered showers and storms throughout most of the afternoon and into evening. We're also going to watch for some of those storms to be pretty strong as they make their way through portions of the Front Range and Eastern Plains. Right now, let's start with a live look outside where you can see all of that cloud cover and some of that rain over downtown Denver. We're at 93 degrees right now. We have winds coming in from the southwest at around 20 miles per hour. But the big story going to continue to be our flood alerts. We have a lot of them in effect right now. We have a flash flood watch in effect until midnight. Same goes for a regular flood watch. The flash flood watch is mostly going to be over the burn scar areas, high country, foothills. And then as you make your way a little bit further eastward, the Palmer Divide and Central and Northern Plains under a flood watch until midnight. Now, we have other advisories in effect as well. Flash flood warnings in effect. We have Central Larimer County, and one just popped up over Fort Morgan. So we're going to continue to watch for those through the afternoon and early evening hours. And we have a flood advisory in effect over Morgan and Weld counties until around 6:45 this evening. And that's because of all of these widespread storms pushing through. You can see several lightning bolts and then some areas seeing heavier rain. So in addition to that rain, we're going to continue to watch for those temperatures to be a little cooler. Yeah, I thought the 90s. My current temperature in Denver looked to be off. I'm going to have to check that radar. This one is pulling in 69 degrees. And we're seeing 70s and 80s across most of the Front Range and Eastern Plains. Those temperatures are going to continue to cool off as those storms push through those areas. So I'll have details on how much more rain and cooler weather we're expecting just ahead of my 7-day forecast. You'll want to stay tuned.
All right, Lauren, we'll check in with you in a bit. Thank you. This Thursday, Centennial Water is holding an open house to answer questions about its upcoming water restriction.
This water district serves Highlands Ranch, Solstice, and northern Douglas County. And thanks to Colorado's drought, which is kind of strange to talk about on a day like this, but the drought, Centennial Water is now putting in water restrictions for the first time in 20 years. McClellan Reservoir is where those communities get most of their water. Well, hotter, drier conditions and drought are all affecting water levels in the South Platte River, which is what fills that reservoir.
Normally this would be covered by water, but this year you can see that it's been dry long enough that grass has started to grow on the shore. If the reservoir was full, it would be up to the level of that red rock, and the rock further below, the white rock, is usually underwater. So we'd expect it to be somewhere in that band of gray rock behind us in a normal year.
In the summer, 75% of Highland Ranch's water is used on outdoor irrigation. That is water that cannot be recaptured or recycled. So to help conserve water, they're asking people to limit outdoor irrigating to 2 days a week, before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m. These stage 1 drought restrictions are expected to end in late September or October. Until then, outdoor water features, fountains, splash pads, those will be turned off. Centennial Water's open house is on Thursday. It'll be at the South Ridge Rec Center and starts at 6.
Mother Nature isn't the only thing that closes roads. The long-time construction of I-70 in Denver has caused on and off closures for the last few years.
The long-term goal here is, of course, to help all the drivers. But for now, people in nearby neighborhoods say it's really been rough on some businesses. Here's 9 News reporter Luis De Leon.
Traffic may pause on I-70 when construction crews need it to. But for the highway's neighbors,
You're good.
business keeps moving.
We do tattoos, piercings, we're a barber shop, permanent makeup. We do a little bit of everything.
Sean Williams owns Hard Knocks Tattoo Parlor in the Elyria Swansea neighborhood.
The neighborhood's really friendly. The people that come around are really great.
But even the sign out front, he says, has not been enough to keep customers coming back.
With the access changing weekly, it seems like one road or another road is always changing or being closed. When it comes to generating new clients and when we run sales that are to the public, the access has just been so difficult.
He estimates that sales have been down 30 to 40% lately.
¿Listo?
A similar story next door at Imagen Beauty Salon.
Sí.
Longtime stylist Rubia Herrera says most of their regulars have to use the highway to get there.
I have a customer in Green Valley Ranch, in Mambelo, Commerce City.
But construction, she says, could get in the way. A spokesperson for CDOT tells us they cannot compensate businesses for lost revenue or rent unless access is restricted to a point where a business cannot operate. They say they partnered with places including Hard Knocks Tattoo and Imagen Beauty Salon to pay for coupons for the business's customers and also offered free cleaning services for all the dust and debris. But even with that,
¿Qué le digo?
the overall impact, businesses say, persists.
In the long run, the bigger picture, it's going to be great for Colorado, but in the last couple of years, it's just been horrible for a small business like mine.
So CDOT plans to open a 4-acre park directly over I-70 to help better connect Elyria Swansea and those businesses that you saw there. Steve, Jenny, as of now, it's scheduled to open later this fall.
We always see this with big projects. The hope is that these businesses can make up for this in some way.
Absolutely. And a lot of those businesses that you saw there, they've been around for at least 20 plus years, especially that's the case for that beauty salon we saw there. So they're just trying to make it now here at the end.
Okay, Luis, thank you. This week, we looked into whose responsibility it is to clean up trash along interstates, and the answer, CDOT.
They have a team dedicated to that work in the Denver area, but their job focuses first on debris that's actually blocking the road, not trash piled up on the side of the highway. They're responsible for 4,100 lane miles, including I-25, 270, 76, and I-70 around Denver up to Silverthorne. You may have seen what's called the 518 patrols on the sides of the interstates. Crews of 3 people drive around looking for trash and debris that's blocking traffic or causing a danger to the public.
That crew is specifically driving around with plows on the front of their trucks. They're looking for any large debris that might be in the live lanes of travel. They then drop their plow and push it off to the shoulder and potentially pick it up if it's not safety risk for them to get out or if it's too heavy.
CDOT says it spent $3.5 million in the last fiscal year on highway cleanup, picking up 2,200 tons of junk, all sorts of stuff, mattresses, fire extinguishers, pallets, shopping carts. These same teams are also responsible for cleaning up roadkill.
Ugh, yikes.
Yeah. Well, starting tomorrow, CDOT is cracking down on people who are not wearing seatbelts. They'll have 44 agencies in on this.
It's called Click It or Ticket. You've probably heard this campaign before, and you'll get a $65 fine if you get caught. CDOT says 118 people not wearing a seatbelt died so far this year on Colorado's roads. This time last year, it was 113. CDOT says about 86% of people in Colorado use a seatbelt. In a survey earlier this year, 11% of people said they rarely buckle up.